Hi there, this is Gerard Welbrock, and you're tuned in to Tiger Talk. We're going to talk some women's basketball with head coach Tony Hopsin and men's hoops with Mark Johnson. It's all coming up right after this on Tiger Talk.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communications services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock with you the next half hour as we shift gears to basketball. We'll talk some women's hoops with head coach Tony Hopsin and men's basketball with Mark Johnson. Both teams getting off to 2-0 starts with wins over squads from the Northern Sun Conference. Of course, we've got football for you. We'll move back to a special edition of Tiger Talk back in early December as the Tigers qualify for the Mineral Water Bowl, accepting a bid to play in that on Sunday. And we'll have a special edition previewing the Mineral Water Bowl with head coach Chris Brown coming up closer to that contest. But we're going to have our first basketball installment today as we shift gears and move indoors. The program, of course, brought to you by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, best buffet in the USA. They're north of the interstate and open 7 days a week. We'll take a break. When we come back, head women's coach Tony Hopsin will join us as Tiger Talk continues right after this. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented once again today by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, where for a limited time you can enjoy their Meat Lovers Spectacular Dinner Buffet. Steak, jumbo shrimp, bone-in catfish, and carved spare ribs. It's everything you like, as much as you like, all for one low price at the Golden Corral. Best buffet in the USA. We're joined by head coach Tony Hopsin of the Lady Tigers. They are off to a 2-0 start after a couple of wins up in Marshall, Minnesota, knocking off Upper Iowa on Friday night, then beat the host Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs on Saturday. And I guess hard to believe it's here already, but nice 2-0 start for your team. Bit of a struggle, didn't shoot it particularly well on Friday. Kind of sounded like a typical first game, but then rebounded with a very nice blowout win the next day.
Well, it's just a deal where you have to get used to traveling. And you know, you drive a couple days to get up there, and then you have a little nervousness, and I don't know if it's as much nervousness as just excitement to play a game, and so we couldn't put one in the basket the first half. Our defense kept us close, and finally we were able to pull away there late in the game. But Upper Iowa played well, and we're excited to play a ranked team, and that's something we're going to have to get used to. So at least we pulled it out the first night, even though it wasn't very pretty. I mean, we struggled with about every aspect of our game except for our perimeter defense was good, and we forced a lot of turnovers.
Well, and I guess if you look at the two games, that's what really stands out. I think you forced 30 on Friday and then 26 on Saturday, and that was really kind of the difference. Just created havoc for those teams.
Well, we're going to have to do that. Last year, we basically go ahead and get it up floor. Go ahead, we'll let you throw it into the post, because once it got into the post, then the possession was usually over because they could not score over Kate. So this year it's going to be a little different. We're going to have to really pressure, make teams work to get it where they want to, and we're actually trying to front the post and not even let it go in there, because once it goes in there, we're not big enough to really stop them. So we did a good job of it the second night especially, but we're a little smaller in the post, so we're just going to have to pressure a lot more, and that created a lot of turnovers. And especially the second night, they had two pretty good little guards, I thought, watching them play the prior game, and I didn't think we'd be able to turn them over as much as we did.
It's going to be kind of an interesting, I guess, season, especially early on for you guys, because obviously Kate Lehman was a phenomenal All-American, kind of a once-in-a-generation player. And now that she's gone, it's a whole different style of play for you guys, and I think for the fans and everybody else to get used to, because you kind of got used to, okay, try to score against Kate, let's see what happens. A little bit different go of it here now.
Well, especially I found watching these two games was rebounding-wise. We lost 20 rebounds a game losing Kate and Carrie Ann. And now, just like Saturday, Chelsea Mason has 8 boards. Last year, when the ball came off, if it wasn't a long rebound out to 15, 18-foot area, we had kids that didn't even go because they knew that somebody would have it already. So I think we have to get in the habit of everybody getting to the boards and kind of a rebound by committee type thing. And we didn't do that the first day as well, and we got out-rebounded by not a large team. You know, they were about our size. So we're just going to have to really bear down and concentrate on getting to the boards.
Looked like one of your veterans, Beth Poslowski, kind of led the charge for you, as you would expect. The veteran on the team, the point guard, kind of the quarterback, if you will, and looks like she played very well, off to a good start.
Well, she did. While we were forcing, 56 turnovers in 2 games, I think we had 22, and that's all due to Beth primarily. But then when she wasn't running point, Nikki was, and when they were in the game together, Nikki was playing on the wing. But I really think that those two are 2 of the best point guards in the conference, and we've got 2 of them. So I really expect that to be a strong point on our team, is just being able to take care of the ball and get it where it needs to go. And I imagine out of those 22 turnovers, there would have been, I know there was a couple 3-second calls and 4 or 5 travels. So as far as just errant passes or mistakes by the point guards, there was just a few.
I ask you about Nikki. She gets hurt in the regional last year, severe injury, and then go watch her in practice early this year, and was it even as bad as it appeared? I mean, it's a remarkable recovery from her. You can't even really see many effects.
Well, the doctor was, when she came back this fall and went to get checked out by the doctor that had done the surgery and had worked with her prior to her leaving for the summer, he was amazed, and he could not believe it. It was a completely torn ACL. I mean, it was the same injury that Taylor Chandler had or any of the others that we've had. But she was basically fully recovered in less than 5 months, and that's just unheard of. Part of that is just due to the fact that I think Nikki's a very strong kid as far as muscle mass, and I think that helped her recover. And obviously over the summer she did everything and more that she needed to do to get better. But yeah, when she came back, she hadn't even been released yet, and she was doing every drill that we did full speed, and it was amazing.
Remarkable recovery, so they're going to help out the Lady Tigers. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the different changes in women's basketball and take a look ahead to a fun weekend with a couple of games on Friday and Saturday. We'll do that when we return. The Tiger Talk brought to you by the Golden Corral, just north of the interstate. Best buffet in the USA, and we're back right after this.
They're growing up and getting busier. Between school, sports, dance, sleepovers, you want to make sure they can always reach you when they need to. Nextech Wireless has the perfect cell phone starter plan. For only $40 per month, it includes unlimited data, calling, and texting. There are no contracts or overages, so they can call, text, YouTube, and stream all they want. Plus, smartphones start at just $150. Certain restrictions apply. Get the $40 WOW Unlimited plan at Nextech Wireless.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you by the Golden Corral, just north of the interstate in Hayes. Best buffet in the USA, talking some women's basketball with head coach Tony Hopsin of the Fort Hays State Tigers. And quarters now, I don't know about you, it's going to take me a while to get used to that, but quarters, you have 4 of them now. Some changes into the game. The men's game obviously has a bunch, and the women's game as well. Seems like every so often there's been a few adjustments, but maybe none as many as this past offseason.
Well, ours are more like technical type game format, and how things are into quarters now instead of halves. Where I think the men's changes are how they're going to call the game and all of that. So Actually, I think our adjustments will be easier to make than theirs because, especially these first two games, I didn't really see any difference at all in the way the game's being called for us, which is good. I really think that they should just have a rule where, you can change game rules or whatever every 3 or 4 years instead of every year you get 2 or 3 trickled in here, and then they'll reverse it and take it away. I know a few years ago they decided to put the 5-second closely dribbled count into women's basketball. It lasted 1 year. It was, it's always been a rule where it's not enforced. It's enforced differently by each official, and so when there's so arbitrary and you don't know what's going to be called, those are the rules that need to be eliminated, which they did. So we have some quarters now. Our timeouts are formatted differently. They took one media timeout out because we now have a quarter break, and we have it in there. Probably the biggest difference for me that I see is how the fouls are kept, and we no longer have a 1-and-1. We go back to 0 fouls at the end of each quarter. It's basically like the NBA now. If anybody follows that, on your 5th foul of each quarter, you shoot 2 fouls, 2 foul shots, and that I think it's good. I kind of like it. There's a little more strategy. You can use a foul at the end of the quarter if you only have 3, and you have somebody in there you don't care if they get another foul. You can make them take it out of bounds again and maybe keep them from getting a shot. I think there's going to be less free throws shot because really on the 7th and 8th fouls before you would have 1-and-1s, where now you could have 8 fouls a half without having a free throw. The other thing that's kind of different is we can advance the ball late in the game. Inside of a minute, we can advance the ball to half court with the timeout, and that's also new and probably will bring some new strategy into the games and maybe help a team that's trying to score there at the end of the game. Other than that, it's pretty much, as far as the way the game's being called, I think it's okay. But I was disoriented for both games as far as looking up at the clock and seeing 4 minutes, and then I'd have to think, is this first quarter, second quarter? And I guess that's going to take a little while. I mean, I've coached 750 games or so the other way, so it's probably going to take more than 2 or 3 to get used to quarters. So it's different, but like I said, I think it'll be easier for us to adjust than adjusting to how the game's being called.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Going to have to adjust a little bit to the quarter system. All right, this weekend, Friday and Saturday, St. Cloud State and Regis University in town. Another chance to play a Northern Sun team, and then a team from the RMAC that before Fort Hays State left the conference had quite a rivalry built up in women's basketball. But 2 good tests. Be nice for the home fans to see you, and some games you can use toward regional play. So this is obviously another important weekend, as they all are.
Well, they are, and we decided, or I decided last year to eliminate a couple of the NAIA games, or try to, and try to host a classic and get a couple other good D2 teams in here to play. St. Cloud will be better than the 2 teams we played this weekend, and we'll have the advantage of being at home, but we'll face a better opponent. Regis, I'm not sure about them. They changed coaching staffs, so it'll be interesting to see what they have. I know they do have a big kid transfer from Wyoming that should help them, a 6'3" girl. But it'll be nice. We haven't ever played these 2 teams, or I haven't, and we haven't seen them here for 9 or 10 years. So the bad thing is that I'll be going to St. Cloud next year to return the trip. So that's a long ways up there. But that's okay. Those road trips don't hurt you if you can just survive them. We do a lot of road trips in our conference, so you need them. But this weekend should be exciting. We'll get to see Pitt State play the same 2 games, same 2 teams, so we'll get a look at them. And hopefully we can just enjoy the home games and the home crowd and getting used to playing at home.
All All right, sounds good. Coach, as always, we appreciate the visit. We're off and running. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday night. Go get them.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's head coach Tony Hopsin of the Tiger women. Again, Friday night, St. Cloud State, and then Saturday, the Regis University Rangers. We're going to take a break on Tiger Talk. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball. Head coach Mark Johnson will join us right after this on Tiger Talk.
BOS Motorsports in Hayes introduces the top off-road vehicle lineup with Polaris. The world leader in off-road innovation presents the Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, and Ace off-road vehicles right here in the heartland of BOS Motorsports in Hayes. Whether you're looking for something for the trail, the farm, the oil patch, the hunt, BOS has the ride just for you. Stop in today and ride away with yours. At BOS, customer service is number one. Our in-house parts and service department will take care of you before, during, and after the sale. BOS Motorsports just north of I-70 at exit 159 in Hayes.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. And again, for a limited time, you can enjoy the Meat Lovers Spectacular Dinner Buffet. A lot of great new menu choices. In fact, it's everything you like, as much as you like, for one great price at the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. Talking men's basketball now with Coach Mark Johnson. Hopefully the results are like we saw this weekend. Not all the games go down to the wire like that. Pretty exciting way to start the year and two nice wins to begin the new campaign.
You know, it really was. I mean, very two tight games, came down to last possession both nights, and we were fortunate enough to come out on top. And I think that was a good sign for having a relatively new team, a very young team, to be able to find a way to win in your first weekends like that. So hopefully it's something we can build on. I agree. I definitely don't want to have to go through that every night. I guess we'll take the wins every time, but get great opening weekend. I think both those teams are going to be good teams this year, have very solid seasons, so they were good tests for us.
Yeah, and they both gave you kind of some different issues. Southwest Minnesota State, very big, very physical. Their inside play was a challenge. And then on Saturday, Sioux Falls, I mean, was their shortest guard, maybe 6'3". I mean, they gave you some problems on the perimeter, and your team fought through that and found ways to overcome it.
Yeah, like I said, two good teams, but two different teams the first night. Great front line. Probably could be as good a front line as we face all year. Thought we did a good job handling that. And then the next night, I think our shooting, you look at our two exhibition games and then that game, again, they were very similar as far as pretty much every guard out there was 6'4". I think height and length is going to give us problems this year. We're awfully small in the backcourt. So we didn't shoot the ball well. We shot 36%. Yet still found a way to win. So that's what you like to see, and hopefully we're just going to continue to get better. And if you can get good against good quality opponents, gain experience, get better, and still get wins, that hopefully will pay dividends down the road.
You know, we talked about rebounding. It's going to be a little bit different this year with your lack of size. Your guards have to really get involved, and thought for the most part in both games they did that.
They really did. You know, we've talked to our guys all year long. We're small, and you think that's going to put more pressure on your bigs. And we've told our team it's really more pressure on the guards. If our guards do a great job, and our goal for them is everybody needs to get 2 to 4 a night. You look after 2 games, I think Kenny's averaging 5 rebounds, and Rob's averaging 4.5. Trey O'Neal in only 13 minutes on Sunday got 5 rebounds. So really our guards got to continue to do the job they did this past weekend.
How about some of the freshmen? You look at Kyler Kinnaman, thought he gave you some huge minutes in the first half on Saturday and played a very steady game because you have such a unique lineup. You start a veteran group, but then you bring a lot of freshmen in off the bench. How do you feel the young guys performed in games that counted?
Yeah, I thought Kyler was really good the first half against Sioux Falls. I mean, we needed a lift. Craig got in foul trouble. We were a little stagnant offensively, and he really made some things happen on both ends of the floor and really probably sparked us to get it down to 2 points at halftime. And then Trey, I thought Trey did really good. You know, Trey guarded well. He rebounded well. He's just a little hesitant right now offensively. And once he, gets a little more comfortable, a little more confident, I think, he'll start finding his offense. But I thought both those guys did well. Hadley and Drew, I thought, had good weekends. They're both sophomores. Both, again, like some of the other guys come off the bench, haven't played a lot of minutes here. So that's probably the thing we got to develop as the season progresses here. As we get closer to conference play, we got to develop our bench a little better than we have right now.
Tigers get a couple of wins. They've got another non-conference game on Wednesday as Central Christian comes to town. We'll talk about that and more with head coach Mark Johnson as Tiger Talk continues right after this.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, our final segment presented by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill. And of course, you can cater your next event, whether it's maybe a Thanksgiving gathering for the office or for you at home with family coming to town. 625-4141. Give them a call about their catering service at the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. Joined by Mark Johnson, head basketball coach for the Tiger men. A tune-up on Wednesday. Before we talk about that a little bit, men's college basketball maybe as much of an overhaul going into this year as there's been that I can ever remember. The way they're calling the games, the timeout situation, coaches can no longer call it on a live ball. It's probably about as big of adjustment for you guys and your players as there's ever been in the game.
Yeah, it really is. They're making a very conscientious effort to try to clean up aggressive play, whether it's for the betterment of the game. That'll be to be told, I guess. So, yeah, you got to make adjustments. I thought our guys did a good job the first opening weekend. I didn't feel like we got in great foul trouble. We adjusted pretty well. I think, like I said, coaches can't call timeouts. We've lost timeouts. Even against Sioux Falls, we fall down 14-4, and now with less timeouts in the game, I was a little hesitant to try to call a timeout that early and stop the momentum. So that's something I think us coaches got to figure out. Should you waste that timeout that early to try to stop momentum? So, there's some changes. The 10-second call got us, where they didn't reset it because it was, I think, knocked out of bounds. So there's a lot of changes, and we'll see how it goes. But I know we're just watching some games even on TV, a lot of fouls. I think in the Wichita State game, there's like 71 free throws. So it'll be an adjustment. And the other teams have to adjust just like us. So hopefully we'll continue to do a good job like we did the first weekend.
Yeah, kind of saw that in the Emporia Sioux Falls game, the first game over the weekend. I think there was close to 60 fouls and over 60 free throws. Central Christian on Wednesday, another non-conference game at home, an NAIA program that has continually gotten better. Some of the same names that you've seen in years past, and one of those games that you guys will have to take serious and play well.
Oh, we're going to have to. They're very athletic. They're more athletic than we are. They got some length. I think as a team right now, they're shooting 43% from three, which you play teams like that, it's very scary. They got a guy averaging 21 points a game that's shooting 58% from three. And then they have a guy that probably is one of the most best athletes we're going to face all year in the Stafford kid. He was supposed to play last year against us, but I think he dislocated his shoulder on a dunk right before he played. So they got some guys that can get up and down and play and do some things. So we'll have to do what's right and play the right way. If we do that, we should hopefully be fine. If we don't do the things necessary, then you're going to be in for a dogfight.
All right, should be a lot of fun. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
That's head coach Mark Johnson, and that's going to wrap it up for Tiger Talk. Again, the Tiger men at home on Wednesday, the women here on Friday and Saturday, so chances to see the Tigers here at home. Tiger Talk presented once again by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, also brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for men and women, and Eagle Communications. For women's coach Tony Hopsin, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
Thanks for watching Tiger Talk. If you missed any portion of it, you can always catch the audio replay from Tiger Radio Mix 103 or the video replay at HaysPost.com. We'll see you next time right here on Tiger Talk.